Hey everyone, it's Kikle. I hope you're doing well today. I have a video here about a movie that was a TV film once upon a time, but let me start with a little precursor to this. This is kind of to begin some reviews, to go along with the Christmas season that's coming up. Merry Christmas. It's not even December yet, but I'm still going to say it to you. Many years ago, I worked at Walmart. That was my first job ever in 2013. And I had some money around Christmas time, and I bought some DVDs and some Blu-rays of stuff I had never seen. And that was at the time when Hallmark used to kind of become popular with their little movies. But I loved the originals that I watched, like Jingle All the Way, both versions of The Grinch at the time, because there were only two, and they were both great, and I still stand by that, but I'll get to that one of these days. And things like Christmas Vacation, which I had just discovered a year or so before in my film studies class at school. Anyway, I bought this pack of 8 movies, Christmas collection. You see these a lot of the time in like Walmart and Big Lots and whatever. And it comes with 2 sleeves inside of it. Of course, one of them I took out, which the movie I'm about to talk about is in this 4-pack set here, in this 8-pack. So these also include like holiday songs and stuff, which is kind of strange to me. Now, interestingly enough, the movie I'm going to talk about named in this box set is called A Song for the Season. However, as the title of my video shows, and even IMDb shows, apparently the only title it's really known by is A Holiday Romance. I don't know where the Song for a Season, or for the season, or whatever came from. But interestingly enough, the writer of this movie is the person who also wrote Sons of Mistletoe and Christmas Romance, which my wife and I watched these many years ago. Apparently on IMDb I gave this one, Sons of Mistletoe, a decent rating in case you want to check that out. But Christmas Romance was fucking bad. It was really bad. And I just watched What I Did for Love. That's going to be the next review immediately after this video in case you're interested. But anyway, back to Song for the Season, or A Holiday Romance. So I learned some things about myself that I will get into in a moment as I review this movie, because I have some nitpicks about this film. Even though it was a fairly decently watchable Christmas romance, Hallmarky type of movie, one thing from this box set from the get-go I have to let you know is that this is the type of box set, and these are the type of movies I'm about to start talking about that are basically knockoff Hallmark movies. Think of more in like the vein of the Lifetime Christmas movies that get made now, which are very strange if you haven't seen those before. They suck. But I typically like the Hallmark ones. They're not too bad most of the time. The older ones, the last ones from the last few years have been kind of shitty, but at least they have a budget. At least they have a formula that I think works, and you shouldn't improve because you don't need to. They're good for what they are. But you always know the telltale signs of these low-budget, shitty Christmas films. They may have a celebrity you know. They absolutely will have no snow in the movies. And they a lot of the time take place on city houses. Like, not New York City, but like busy areas like Boston or some shit. There's only decorations on the one house it might take place from. When you see outside at other places, there are no decorations unless it's a little bit of a bigger budget movie, like a Hallmark movie where you have like the Christmas cookie town where we all make Christmas cookies as a local tradition. That's it. That's the only time you're going to see that. And I like that for Hallmark. These low budget, knockoff wannabe Christmas Hallmark movies, a lot of the time they don't have that magic and that passion to them that sometimes even Hallmark can lack, you know? But they typically always lack in these types of movies. Now, Song for the Season, Christmas Romance, whatever, Holiday Romance, whatever this movie is called. It came out in 1999. It was a TV movie, like I said. It's about an hour and a half long. The only person I know from it is Naomi Judd, the lead guy in the movie. Apparently he was on the Incredible Hulk TV show with Bill Bixby back in the day. I don't know if he was like a major character or anything, but he was on there too. I think that's the only things I know him from, matter of fact. Now, both of them give a solid, decent performance. Naomi Judd, I could have sworn I knew, and then I realized, apparently I was remembering Ashley Judd, who's like her sister. I think there's like 3 of them called the Judds as a band who sing. But Naomi Judd, I don't know from really anything as far as I can tell. She's okay, you know, a little strange looking. She looks like she's had a lot of, you know, surgeries and shit done to her face. But, you know, she's okay, whatever. Basically, she runs at a local school that's not doing very well. It might go out of business. She runs the musical class and teaches kids how to play instruments and how to do singing, I guess you could say too, but it's not really so much singing. But she's also a very good piano player. And Naomi Judd is not convincing at all as a piano player. They don't even bother trying to show her hands in this, which is usually a film thing. Like, we don't want our people who don't know how to play the piano to be exposed. That's fine and good, but I noticed it. Anyway, there is a guy who moves into town who kind of becomes, I think he's like a principal. I never really got a good understanding of what was going on here, but he moves in with his dad, who, by the way, I forgot, there is another actor you're probably going to know more than Naomi Judd and this dude that's the lead actor in the film, Andy Griffith. Yes, he is in this, from Matlock, from the Andy Griffith Show, and he's great as the grandpa, even though the grandpa's kind of an asshole. I don't really like him all that much, but, you know, great actor, timeless actor. It was kind of cool to see him here. He was so old. He was so old. Basically, this man moves back into town to try to save that school as his new job. I can't remember if he's like just an administrator or a principal, like I said, or something to that effect in the office work of the school trying to save it. He may have to cut jobs, he may have to do this and do that, and he begins to catch feelings for Naomi Judd, the musical teacher, but he also has like a niece who's there who's kind of like at this preteen age where she's kind of angsty. She kind of keeps to herself. She's kind of dressing with long sleeves and stuff. You gotta wonder what's happening to the wrists. It's that kind of situation and a very dark mentality. And he's hoping she'll come out of her shell living with this grandfather for a little bit, played by Andy Griffith, and hopefully being in this new school with new friends and whatever that she may be able to make. Maybe that'll bring, you know, some happiness out of her for this Christmas season. But like I said, it has its nice moments, but there's no snow to like cap off nice moments of kisses or whatever like Hallmark does, which I always think is very sweet about those movies. This is something I learned about myself, and I hinted at this a moment ago, and I gotta talk about it. I learned something very special about myself. My cousin Kristen, if you happen to be watching this, love you, Kristen, hope you're doing well. She saw a movie many years ago based on a Nicholas Sparks book, and I forgot what the movie was. I think it was Knights of Rodanth or something. I think that's the title. I could be wrong. But most of my life, when I would go to see her and my other cousin, her brother, Trenton, they would talk about how Knights of Rodanth was a romance movie about old people, right? Now, I say that to say this. She would talk about how gross it was and how disgusting it was for that particular movie, which I've never seen. It may be sweet. I may like the movie. I don't know. But in this case, I learned something about myself. The Hallmark romance movie thing, and even these wannabe knockoff movies, absolutely do not work. Even if they don't have snow, I can usually tolerate this if it's a well-made script and a good stick-to-the-formula type of movie. They don't work well with old people as the people falling in love. And when I say old, I mean Naomi Judd and the lead actor clearly are like in their 50s, late 50s, 60s, somewhere in there. No offense to them. No offense to them. They can't help that. But the casting director could. The casting director could. The writing director could. Any of these people could have fixed this problem very quickly by just casting beautiful, young, new people trying to do something. You know what Brad Pitt starred in before he became a big name that you'd know in your household? He was in things like Freddy's Nightmares, the Nightmare on Elm Street TV show that was an anthology show. And he was in things like California with the daughter from Christmas Vacation, interestingly enough, that I can bring that up. Brad Pitt was in a lot of shit. You know, a lot of shit. I mean, complete shit. California has to be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I cannot believe that got a theater release. But when I look at things like his performance in Freddy's Nightmares, not good, man. If you had seen the stuff he had to work with back in the day, you would not think Brad Pitt would be where he is now. My point is, pick young, beautiful people and put them in these Christmassy Hallmark movies. It's not a bad thing to do something different and have a little bit of a break out of the formula with, in this case, the elderly falling in love. That there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make that very clear. But that doesn't mean it's going to work out well for you as a producer, a director, a company trying to make money off of this new Christmassy type movie that you made that's not even filmed in a snowy area or in any part of the year that has snow, you know? It's not going to work out for you. It doesn't work well to watch old people make out. It just doesn't. And I don't think it works well here either for anybody who's curious. And I wanted to enjoy this more because this movie's not unwatchable. I don't think I would ever watch it again, but it's not unwatchable. It was entertaining the other night during the week when I just wanted a break from work. When I got home, my wife and I had dinner. We sat down and I watched this while she read a book. And this was, again, fairly watchable, but it was gross. Watching old people kiss and fall in love and shit. It wasn't sweet. It wasn't like watching like some of the chicks they pick out for like the Hallmark movies that are just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, man. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like having a Prince Charming with the fucking, cut jaw falling in love with the chick. It wasn't anything like that, you know? It wasn't what it could be or how special it could be. It wasn't a budgetary reason, because I'm sure Naomi Judd was not cheap, since she's kind of a name, but kind of not, you know, to normal people. Anyway, Song for the Season or Holiday Romance, whatever this movie is called, it doesn't really have the best music. A lot of the kids in here that are playing instruments are so out of tune, even when they're not supposed to be. When they're supposed to be, to us, the audience, good at this particular scene or that particular scene. It doesn't really land, in my opinion, in those parts. But the writing isn't strong. The acting is fine for those characters. I actually think the lead guy and Andy Griffith are pretty good in the movie. And Naomi Judd is serviceable for what she's doing in the film, like I said. Not like it's a great script or anything for anybody to kind of grow from and do something cool with. But if you want an entertaining, decent watch, this is something you could check out. It's not the most amazing thing ever. But I will say, the piano music that they hide, that they try to pretend like Naomi Judd is playing, is really good. I really enjoyed all of that stuff, in case you haven't seen the movie before and want to. It has a couple of nice moments. It has a nice moment with the niece, daughter-ish character in the film. I do like all of that as well. But anyway, Song for the Season, Holiday Romance, whatever we're calling this TV film, if I had to rate it on a 5-star basis, I'd probably give it like a 2 out of 5 stars. It had some things to offer. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad at all. I don't want you to think something like that. Now, it wasn't like Christmas Romance right here with the lady holding the sheep or lamb or whatever the fuck that is. That is a horrible film. That is unwatchable bad. Anyway, have you seen Song for the Season, Holiday Romance? What do you think about it down below? Do you love Hallmark Christmas movies, or do you stick more to the big budget, theatrical release guns beside your hips? What do you stick with? I would love to hear all that down below too. I'm currently watching a movie that is one that many people have loved since like 2011, 2010, whatever, when it came out, called Arthur's Christmas, or Arthur Christmas. That's going to be a very controversial review from yours truly, because I don't feel like a lot of people about that movie. So we'll get there in a couple of days, I assume, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But hopefully you stick around for that. Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Let me know your thoughts on this movie down in the comment section down below. What's your favorite Christmas movie of all time, too? Catch you later. God bless you, and goodbye. Merry Christmas.